So welcome back to our channel, Diligence Media, and in today's video we're going to be going over the top 3 tips you must not miss when starting a podcast, or perhaps you have a podcast and you want some tips to help grow your podcast. Now these tips are very, very important, so let's go over them. Now before we get into today's video, be sure to hit subscribe, hit a little bell notification and leave a like on today's video. Now as a special thank you for attending today's video, which we all appreciate at Diligence Media, we want to give you a gift, a checklist on podcasting. A checklist that will guide you through step to finish on how you can launch a successful podcast. Now if you want that, it is down in the description, so go check it out. And yeah, let's get to today's video. Now, number 1 is actually a mic choice. It's picking your mic and what you're going to be using to record. Now, if you're just doing an audio podcast, you're going to want your audio to be outstanding. Now, don't get me wrong, the content is very, very important. But so is the audio quality, and you'll find that a lot more people will stick around if you have better audio quality. Now, especially if you have just an audio podcast, you want your audio to be good. If you've got a video and an audio, there's a slightly more leniency because you've got a video, and videos are a lot more engaging. By the way, if you haven't thought about doing a video podcast, I do suggest looking into that. I will be making a video on this, but audio is so important, so your mic is very, very important. Now, some people can get away with using their laptop microphone. They have the best environment to record in, so they can use their laptop microphone, and sometimes it still sounds good. But still, I recommend microphones. Now I recommend 2 microphones, one that's slightly more expensive, but one that's slightly more affordable. Now the mic that I'm currently using is the Fine microphone. I'll put a link in the description. It's around 40 quid, around 35-40 quid, which is about $50-60. Honestly, it's incredible for what it actually is capable of. So I recommend that microphone if you're looking at that price bracket. If you want to spend a bit more, have a look at the Audio Technica. I think it's called the Audio Technica 2100. That's like sort of the go-to microphone. If you're happy to spend a bit more, go for that microphone. And if you're recording with like more people, especially go for that microphone. You know, your audio will be so much better and your viewers will thank you. Now, number 2 is the actual episode length. This is something that's often overlooked. You know, you think about starting a podcast, you're like, I'm just going to do any random time. It's going to be slightly inconsistent in terms of timing. I'm going to do maybe an hour because, you know, an hour worth of content, who wouldn't want to watch that or who wouldn't want to listen to that? But you'll find in your statistics and your analytics that people might have a drop-off rate. Let's say you have an hour-long podcast and the drop-off rate is around 30 minutes in. That's because the optimal time for an episode length is around 10 to 25 minutes, 30 minutes tops. Now, unless you're a highly well-regarded podcast and you've got a massive viewer base, or a listener base, I should say, you're going to want to reduce the actual length of your episodes for the main reason of you want to be in the optimal time. Super long episodes doesn't always mean, you know, great content. Shorter episodes, you can cram in a lot more, but you're always providing the best info and the best content possible for your listeners. So just try it out. Try out a shorter episode. What I recommend to some of my clients is, if they've been doing longer episodes, to just add in maybe, let's set it up on weekly, you know, keep maybe 2 longer episodes per month and then try 2 shorter episodes and try it for about 3 months and see the results. See if it does make a difference. I highly recommend that it will, but see if it will change the way that your listeners stay. You know, they might stay for the whole episode. If they do, that is something that you should follow suit with. Now, the third one, this is something that I bang on all about to all of my clients, to all of my friends, is marketing material. This is so important, and I can't stress this enough, because you will spend so much time creating a podcast that might sound incredible, it might have such valuable content, but unless you promote your podcast to a new audience, your audience will very likely be the same. Or it might be small, it might be tiny, and you won't grow. Because if you're not promoting your podcast, how are new people going to know about your podcast? You might get some organic through like Spotify, Apple, Google, but that's very small. That's very, very small. So you want to create marketing material. Now, what do I mean by marketing material? Now, if you've just got an audio podcast, I suggest looking at visualizers, graphics, so like cool graphics from, you can have a look at Canva, they got loads for free, or quote posts which are related to graphics. With an audio podcast, you're a lot more limited, but you can still be creative with it, and visualizers are a great way to showcase your audio podcast. What is a visualizer? It basically takes your audio and puts it into a nice visual format so that people can enjoy looking at it. And if they're scrolling through social media and they see yours, they might be intrigued and like, oh, what's this? That's your visualizer for your podcast. Now, with some podcast hosting platforms, they have marketing material within it. I'm fairly sure Anchor does, Anchor FM, and Buzzsprout definitely does. I'll have links for them in the description, but the moral of the story is some of them already have it. If you have a podcast editor and they don't have marketing material in their like package that they give to you, ask them why. You know, they might not know about it, or they might have a subservice to it. If they have a subservice to it, inquire about it, or potentially look elsewhere and see if you can get a better deal with that podcast editor. Now, at Diligence Media, through all of our podcast packages, we include marketing material because we want to give you, the customer, the best possible chance of growing your podcast. There's no point of us just editing your podcast. We want to help you grow and see you excel. So make sure your editor is offering marketing material, and if they're not, ask why. What if you're doing the marketing material yourself? That's absolutely fine. You know, if you are, let's say you're doing an audio and a video podcast, you can do shorter videos, you can do longer videos, you could put the whole video on YouTube, on Vimeo, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. You know, there's even Instagram with IGTV, you know, it's so versatile. Then you've also got visualizers, you've got graphics, you've got quotes. There's so much stuff you can do when you've got audio and video. But let's say you're doing it yourself, right? And you've got a video podcast, you're going to grab some content, you're going to grab like little, maybe 30-second clips, maybe a minute clip, 2 minutes, and you're going to create shorter videos in portrait mode. So you're looking at 1920 by 1080. And you're going to want to make shorter videos with a progressive bar, preferably with captions just for accessibility reasons, and a title to signify what the video is about. And once you've got, let's say, 5 bits of marketing material for one podcast, you can put that anywhere. You can put that on Instagram, on Facebook, on Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, Clubhouse. There are so much places you can put it. You can put it on your website. You could put it on just general YouTube. You know, what I suggest is if you're creating shorter videos with like the progressive bar that's quite engaging, post on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts because they're pretty much the same format. What you can do is you can upload it to TikTok with like the, let's say the title and stuff like that. Then you can download it and you can put that video on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, and then you've just covered off 3 platforms, and that's potentially reaching thousands of people every single day, because with those platforms it's so easy to go viral. And if imagine you wake up one night and you know your video's got 100,000 views. It happens to pretty much everyone with is viral content, so look into that and how you can make the content. You can get visualizers on Envato Elements, I'll leave a description below, but you can also make them yourself. If you Google them, you'll see what they look like, and you can make them on v.io. They actually have a free version for it. It's what I used to use. I've been using the paid version, which is about a tenner every month, which isn't that much at all for what they offer. But I also now use Premiere Pro. Well, we all do it in the video. We all use Premiere Pro. Final Cut Pro, Sony Vegas. So those are the 3 things that I recommend. So just to go over them again, we have got the microphone, and we've got the episode length, and we've got the marketing material. Do not miss out on those 3 things because they are so important. And by doing those things, you could be going out to get more growth, to get more exposure, to get new viewers, listeners. There's so much stuff you could do. But anyway, I did hope you did enjoy the video. Remember, if you want to launch a successful podcast, I have a checklist down in the description. If you want it, go and get it. And if you are new to this channel, be sure to hit subscribe, hit little bell notification, and also leave a like, as we appreciate it and we want to grow and reach out to as many people as we can. But anyway, I'm going to head off. I hope you have a fantastic day, and peace out.